the next session of Principle of Management. I am Pinky Shah, Assistant Professor in LJ College of Engineering in EC Department. Today we learn about the unit number 2, which is Management Theory. In previous session we learned about the leadership, motivation, CSR and the organizational structure. In today's session we discuss about the management theory, management history. Session flow. First, we learn about the evolution of management, then classical approach, then scientific management, its principles, then administrative management and its principle. First, evolution of management. What this evolution management says? See, this evolution of management is divided into the 4 parts. First one, pre-scientific era, which is before 1880. Second one, classical. Third, neoclassical. Fourth, modern management. In classical management, comprise of the 3 theory. First one, scientific management. Second one, administrative management, and third one, bureaucratic management. These are the classical management theory. Neoclassical and modern theory management we will discuss in next session. First one, what is evolution management theory say? This is explains the evolution of management theory. You can see that. First one, scientific management theory, administrative management theory, then behavior management theory, then management science theory, and next is the organizational environment theory. It is scientific management theory is started by the 1880. After that, so many changes are made. Now consider the modern theory and the scientific management theory. There is vast difference between them. Scientific management theory is rigid. It's not favorable to employees. Where modern theory is not rigid, it's of course favorable to the employees. Let's discuss this management theory. And first, this is the classical approach of the management. Classical approach divided into the 3 parts, 3 theory. First one, scientific management. Second one, administrative management, and third one, bureaucratic management. Today we discuss about the 2 theory. First one, scientific management and its principle. The second one, administrative management and its principle. First, what is scientific management? Who is the father of the scientific management? Frederick W. Taylor. Means F.W. Taylor is the father of the scientific management theory. It makes use of the step-by-step scientific method for finding the single best way for doing a job. It's the main father of scientific management theory. This scientific management, it used to determine one best way for a job to be done. It is the art of knowing what exactly you want from your man to do and then see that is done in best possible manner. In simple words, it is just an application of science to the management. Next, what scientific management? It is also known as the Taylorism. Why? Because it is developed by the F.W. Taylor. Evaluates and synthesizes workflows with the aim of improving labor productivity. It had enormous impact on industry at the beginning of 20th century. F.W. Taylor is called as the father of scientific management. Its components are determination of tasks, planning, proper selection, and mental revolution such as job specification. It focuses on worker and the machine specification also. See that this is the A plus B is equal to product. This product is comprised of the first one, material is important. But with the materials, of course, labor work is also important. Means it's comprised of the 2 things. Development of product comprised of the 2 things. First one, material, and the second one is labor. This concept, the F.W. Taylor situated this concept in his theory. Next, what is the principle of the scientific management? First one, science, not the rule of thumb. Taylor pioneered the introduction of the modified scientific inquiry into the management practices. He suggested that by following the rules of thumb, all would not be equally effective. He believed that there was only one best way method to maximize efficiency. This not the rule of thumb. Second principle says that harmony, not discord. Management serve as a link between the owners and the workers. They should be completely harmony between the management and the workers. Both should realize that both are the important. Not only worker, not only the management, but the efforts of management and the efforts of workers. Both are important for the achieving any goal. Third, he had called for the complete mental revolution on the part of both management and workers. It means management and workers should transform their thinking. In a such a situation, even trade unions will not thinking of going strike, etc. This is the principle number of two. Principle number three. But before the explanation of a principle, let's see this. This is the link. This is the management and these are the works. Of course, there is a link between both of them. This is this principle number of three. Principle number of three is the cooperation, not individualism. What means, of course, cooperation is important. Individuals, employees' works is not important for achieving any goal. This principle is the extension of second principle. Cooperation must be replaced by the cooperation. Competition must be replaced by the cooperation. Both should realize that they need each other. Workers should be rewarded for their suggestions also. This means cooperation is important, not the competition is important between the employees of that company. Fourth principle. What this fourth principle says that? This principle says that development of each and every person to his and her greatest efficiency and the prosperity. This is the important for the scientific management also. Industrial efficiency depends on the corporation. Means it depends on the individual corporation, no, but it depends on the group corporation. These four principles says that. Now, next point, your administrative theory. Before going to this administrative theory, let's summarize this scientific theory. Scientific theory, F.W. Taylor is the father of the scientific theory and it gives the four principles. Means these four principles are important for the scientific theory, scientific management theory. Next approach of the classical theory, which is nothing but the general administrative theory. And who is the father of the general administrative theory? He was the F.W. Taylor. F.W. Taylor, name, but it's a Henry Fayol. F.W. Taylor is the father of scientific management theory and the Henry Fayol, he was the father of the administrative theory, general administrative theory. It concentrates on the manager's functions and what makes a good management practice for any organizations. He gives the 14 rules for any administrative theory. This is the administrative management and it emphasizes on the manager and the functions of the management. What is the objective of this administrative management? To describe the management process and physiology of that management. In contradict to scientific management, which scientific management which deals with mainly jobs and works at the individual level of security, where administrative management gives a universal theory of the management. This is the difference between the scientific management theory and the administrative management theory. This is first means this explain the any administrative organization of that company. There is a link between boss, manager and the workers. Here at the main position boss is there and at the lower level worker are there. There is of course responsibility flows from bottom to top and the authority flows from top to bottom. This management theory says this thing. What are the 14 principles of the Henry Fayol theory? There are the 14 principles. How? We remember this 14 principle. This is the one simple equation. By using this equation, you can summarize that 14 principle easily. What this equation is? Its equation is DAT, then users, that users, then CEO, then US, and then I. There is no need to summarize that 14 all principles. Then just you have to remember just this one equation, which is DAT, users, CEO, US, and I. Now this equation, what this equation says that DAD. D means first of all division of work. Second, A, authority and the responsibility. Then again D, discipline. Then users, what this U says? U says unity of command. Then as subordinates of individual interest to general interest. Then E means equality. Then CEO, but before CEO there is R. R means remuneration to personal. S, scalar of chain. C, centralization. E, spirit de corps. This is the French word. The meaning of this word is team spirit. Then CEO, E means spirit de corps. I have already discussed. Then O means order. U means unity of direction. S, stability of tensor. And then I means initialization. These are the 14 principles which gave by the Henry Fayol. Now let's discuss these all principles one by one. What is first principle says that? This is the first principle. First principle is the division of work. What this principle says? Division of work is concentrated with the distribution of right work to the right person. This principle is the same as Adam Smith division of labor. Specialization increases the output by making employees more efficient. This principle says this work. Each worker has a specific task. Each worker has a specific task. This principle says that. What is the principle number 2? Principle number 2 is the authority and the responsibility. What this principle says? Authority means the right to give command and receive obedience from the subordinates. While responsibility is when a person is accountable for the duties assigned to him. Of course, authority flows from top to bottom and the responsibility always flows from bottom to top. The second principle says this thing. Then principle number 3. What this principle number 3 is? Principle number 3 is D, means discipline. Each employee has to follow the organizational rules and the company with the terms of employee agreement. Means each employee has to follow the rules and the regulation of that company. This principle number 3 says. Then principle number 4 and 5. 4 is the unity of command and the 5 is subordinates of individual interest to the general interest. What this principle number 4 says that a subordinate must get order and the instruction from only one boss. There is no need to report the two boss only. You have to report only one boss. And principle number 5, the interest of any one employee or group of employees should not take precedence over the interest of the organization as a whole. This 4th and the 5th principle. Then what is the principle number 6 and the 7? Principle number 6 and principle number 7. Principle number 6 is equality and principle number 7 remuneration of personnel. You can see that equality means managers should be kind and fair to their subordinates. There must be kindness and justice to all the members of the organization. This principle number 6 says that. And what the principle number 7 says? Workers must be paid a fair wage for their services. This principle number 7. Then principle number 8. What is that principle number 8? Principle number 8 is the centralization and the decentralization. Centralization is when the top level retains authority and decentralization is there is a delegation of authority at all the levels. This is the centralization and this is the decentralization. This is the principle number 8. Then what is the principle number 9? The principle number 9 is the scalar chain. A chain of authority and communication must exist that flows from highest to the lowest level to avoid any delays. This principle number 9 says that. Then what is the principle number 10 and what is the principle number 11? Principle number 10, spirit de corps. This is the French word. Means its meaning in English is it's a team spirit. Promoting team spirit will be build harmony and the unity within the organization. And principle number 11 is the order. People and the materials should be in the right place at the right time. Means you must have to follow that order also. Now, what's the principle number 12 and the 13? Principle number 12 is the unity of direction. Unity of direction means similarity to guidance. There should be one head and one plan for a group of all the employees. And then principle number 13, stability of nature. High employee turnover is inefficient. This principle says these things. And last one is the principle number 14, which is initiative. Means employees who are allowed to originate and carry out his plan which exert high level of effort. These are the 14th principle of the Henry Fayol. Means in short, we have discussed in this classical approach of the management theory. That classical approach comprises into the three theories. First one scientific, second one administrative, and third one a bureaucratic. Scientific management, then who is the father of the scientific management is the F.W. Taylor, and he gives the 4 principles. And then your administrative theory. Who is the father of the administrative theory? It's the Henry Fayol, which is the most important concept in this management history. The Henry Fayol gives the 14 principles, and we have to remember all that 14 principles. But I have already given one equation. Using that equation, you can easily go through that 14th equation by. And here in next session, we will go through next theories, which are the modern theory and which are the behavioral theory. For these sessions, these points are enough. We will meet in the next session. Thank you so much.